You can see. All right, here's the entire story of it. As you can see, it shows where the post was on the water from the Iroquois. It says during the colonial period, the valleys of the Chemung River tributaries comprised the domain of the Senecas. This unit of the Iroquois Confederacy was called the Door of the Six Nations, through which passed communications with the West and the South. The border wars brought the white man into this region. Visitors to this area during the American Revolution found on this site an oak post, which was square to a height of 4 feet and then octagonal to the top. The surface was painted red and decorated with 28 black figures without any heads and 30 black figures with heads on. Numerous allusions of the painted post regarded it as a memorial to a fallen chieftain, a marker for assemblers, and a war post around which dances were held. The original post endowed this place with a name which will endure as long as recorded history. By 1808, the first namesake had disintegrated and a fitting substitute was deemed necessary. In 1824, Captain Samuel Irwin, which is from the town of Irwin where our house is, commissioned John Wygant to fashion a symbol for the site of the painted post. This memorial was carved from sheet iron and depicted an Indian tribesman attired in headdress, jacket, and leggings. For half a century, this quaint figure swung on a pole near the place where the first post stood. In 1880, a second sheet iron Indian was erected at the southeast corner of the Water and Hamilton Streets. This life-size figure represented a chief dressed in a red jacket and buckskin trousers and equipped with a bow and tomahawk. The warrior was attached to the top of a tapered octagonal post which was 18 feet high and painted red. This symbol served as a landmark for 4 decades. A later memorial supplemented this figure, which was removed after World War I. In the summer of 1893, a subscription was circulated for the construction of a stone monument surmounted by the metal replica of an Indian chief. This memorial was dedicated June 21st, 1894. The purposes for which it was erected were inscribed on its face to perpetuate the name of Painted Post, preserve its traditions, and honor the memory of its early settlers. On November 20th, 1948, a violent wind toppled the chief from the pedestal and shattered the figure. At a town meeting held April 4th, 1949, citizens of the village of Painted Post and town of Irwin approved the proposal to replace the damaged monument. The memorial was modeled by Norman B. Phelps and erected in 1950 by popular subscription to commemorate the founding of Painted Post to preserve the posterity, the traditions, and heritage. So that's pretty cool. So that's the story of, that's the one there that was done. As you can see, that's the original post. Well, it's a replica of the original post that they would do dances around for their chieftain, and that's the one that they did in 1950. Then this monument says July 1791, Colonel Timothy Pickering, commissioner appointed by President Washington, negotiated the Treaty of Painted Post with the Iroquois Indians, which ended warfare between the Six Nations and the white settlers in New York State. Isn't that cool? That was done right here. President Washington negotiated the Treaty of Painted Post with the Iroquois Indians, which ended the warfare between the Six Nations and the white settlers here in New York State. It was called the Treaty of Painted Post. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. That is pretty cool, guys. That was something I was not even aware of. That is pretty amazing. Yeah, so you see this area's got a lot of different... Yeah, it's got so much different history to it. That's what I mean with this area. There really is. There's a ton of history, so that's really neat. I learned something today. Good. See, I'm glad I bring you guys along. And hopefully you guys learned something too. That was, sorry if I didn't focus when I was reading that too good, but I was reading the plaque for you. But that's neat all that happened there. George Washington, that's where the treaty was done. It was called the Treaty of Painted Post, to stop the Six Nation Indians and the white men. Look at this tree, guys. Can you smell that? Can you smell the smell-o-vision? Look at those flowers. That is nice. Pretty tree. Spring is here. Looks like those clouds are moving away from us, luckily. Because I want to go home and I got to do a little bit more weed eating. 6:30 and gets dark around 8. Look at these. Oh, look at these flowers, guys. Isn't that pretty? Mm-hmm. Look at all these flowers. Look at that. Look at them. Tell me that's pretty, right? Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And over here is the park where we walked earlier. I'm glad you came along again, folks. We are headed back over to the car now. Time to get something to drink, and now that the work day's over and we got our exercise in and we brought you with us on our exercise. Hopefully it took your mind for about an hour or so off of whatever else you're going on. And we are going to take a shortcut up here. Well, actually we're going up the street anyway, so. Over here is the park. That's Hodgman Park right there. That's the entrance I was telling you about. That's where they have the colonial days, which has gotten really weak over the years. It used to be a really fun thing to take the kids to. They had lots of stuff going on, and it's gotten so expensive, and they just haven't kept up on it. So if anyone from Painted Post Town Council or anything is listening, let's get colonial days back to the way it was. Give the people in the area something to go to and enjoy, and not have to spend $80 to go on 4 rides. All right. Yeah, most of these are from most of these houses are, like our house was built in 1863, our house. So most of these houses are earlier than that, through here. 1700s, 1800s, around the same time, pre-Civil War. So as you can tell, the Treaty of Painted Post from the 1700s that General George Washington treated. So this town's been here since the 1700s. So a lot of these structures have been here that long. That's for sure. Some of them still have the horse steps and tie-ups out in front. It's actually kind of cool, where you would actually bring your horse up, tie off the horse, and have steps to get off the horse and back on it. It's pretty neat. We're not gonna go up to the next one, but I'm gonna zoom in for you. There's one right up here I'll show you. All right, let me zoom over here. Get up here. All right. All right, let's see over here. So you see right there, right in the center of the screen, you can see the horse tie up. Sorry, the card ended there, so I had to switch over. So that the last clip there I showed you, I zoomed in on that horse. That's where they got off and on their horses, but it's still prevalent in a lot of these houses from the 1700s. Now this building, which now serves as the Corning Painted Post Board of Education, well, not the whole thing, but I'm not sure what the rest of it used for, but this used to be Painted Post High School. Look at that, 1868. This was started, 1868. So you're talking Civil War area, this high school, right here. And then it became Painted Post Middle School after the high school. And then actually my mom went here for a year, and then she went to Northside, I think. Unless she went to Northside the whole time. Look, it's got the Corning Hawk signs on it. See on all the doors?
Oh, because it's the Department of Ed building now.
Yeah, so that is the old high school. But look at that, 1868, 1925. And yeah, Department of Education using this now. But yeah, it used to be the Painted Post Middle School. And then when I was in middle school at Corning North Side, the kids left here. I think it was in 7th grade, maybe in my 7th grade, they left here and came down and joined us at Northside Blodgett. That's when it was packed, because they sent some of the kids to CFA and some of the kids to Northside, and all of a sudden the whole middle school got incorporated into 2 different ones, and now it's all in one. That's why they need the big one. So we're going to cut right through the field over here. This is where they practice soccer and stuff. They have like the small fry soccer, and oh, it looks like all those clouds mist disguise the ones I showed you over there. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen, there's a show that I always watch. It's an Italian couple that travels the country. It's called Wander and Leave Everything. You got to subscribe to that channel. You'll see it if you always say, when they say good morning beautiful people. Well, they are stuck in Argentina where it's turning winter, and they cannot get home back to Italy, and all they have is a truck camper. And so it's getting pretty remotely stranded. But that's what I would like us to base on ours, because they're such a fun couple to watch, and they travel all around. It's another good place to watch, and hopefully we can become that. And the nice thing is, if you're watching this now, you're the very first people on the beginning of this train and part of the family. So you can see you were the OGs, the originals, that when we started this, you've been here since the beginning. So that's why you subscribe, and if you're watching, send us a note down on the bottom. Let us know where you're from. So I'm going to actually keep a little book together of all the original people that stuck with us through thick and thin from the beginning. So if you're watching this, it doesn't have to be your last name, just give me a first name or initials or your YouTube name. Give me that and where you're from, and I'm going to keep a little notepad of all of our original people that started out with us. And hopefully if we get that big enough, we'll do a meet and greet, and you guys will be the first ones. They're going to be able to come and join us, maybe have a cookout or something, or maybe travel across. I think it would be cool if, I think it'd be cool, sure, if our original people that we get, once we get to that point, which is going to be a while, since we want to travel, we can literally travel the country where they are and do like a meet and greet or go out to dinner or something with them, the original people. So it's not going to be for a while. We got to build up quite a ways, so it's going to be a while, especially with everything going on. But yeah, write your name or initials down below, tell us where you're from, and you're going to be one of the OG. And then I'm going to do, once we get some shirts and stuff going, you guys are going to have special shirts for our OG originals. So the first probably 100 subscribers are going to be considered OG. Probably the first 100, maybe a little more, but minimum it's going to be 100 are going to be the OGs. And I'll have special merchandise that only you'll be able to get once we get to that point. So we want to do shirts and sweatshirts and hats and hiking anklets and stuff that you carry stuff in while you're hiking, and like wrist where you put your money or keys in while you're hiking or walking. So we're gonna have some merch eventually, so you guys will be the original group that followed us. Like I said, minimum probably 100, and might stop there, or maybe go to 200 or 250. We might call it the originals, but you definitely be in the start. So we're getting close to the end. We just got another block and a half here pretty much to get to where the car is, back to the park that had the dog park. So it did stay beautiful. I'm glad that you all were able to join us today and follow us on another one of our walks, and we'll be trying to do different ways in different places, and I'm glad you came again. I'm just glad that we were able to take up part of your day, and you were able to come along for part of our day. So we just gotta go around the corner up here. So I think this is a good place to end. Sherry, say bye.
Toodles.
And we will see you in the next video. Remember, subscribe, Trail and Hike, and thanks for being with us. Trail and Hike signing out.